The word iota has two distinct meanings. As a noun, 1. A tiny or scarcely detectable amount. 2. The ninth letter of the Greek alphabet.
Welcome to IoTA for Tuesday, August 16th, 2016. I'm Tony Lynn. IoTA is a daily news podcast focused on the Internet Things industry. And sometimes Atlanta. That just really depends on whether I can find a story that has Atlanta in it or not. Let's get right to it. Richard Churgwin of the Register reports that the LoRa Alliance has launched a developer kit. The kit has a gateway, 10 SIM-tech sensors, application software, and a connection to the LoRaWAN network. The idea is to get the developer working without having to pre-test everything in order to get started. The kit supports bidirectional communication and has a low data rate of up to 300 bits per second, which is actually up from the 50 bits per second it was doing before. And the rate is actually managed to reduce the load on the batteries. The LoRa Alliance consists of SIM-tech, Libelium, Laureate, and now Cisco. Cisco's actually just joined them, so that's part of the reason for the new kit. Yesterday, we reported on the new OS by Google for IoT. Today, Liam Tung, sorry, Liam, in ZDNet has a follow-up, and he's basically reporting that Fuchsia will be available for the Raspberry Pi, and in almost a non-story soon. Realistically, this is just everybody now starting to pile on the idea that Google has now got an OS coming out for this. Now, they already have an OS that was launched for IoT earlier, but not in this capacity. So anyway, we'll see how this transpires. Today's actually kind of a light news day, so this would be a really quick update today, but let's get to it, or continue rather. Ivan Lowry of Android Headlines gives us the scoop on Logitech's newest IoT product. The Pop Home Switch is a small device that can be placed anywhere in the house and connects to the existing Wi-Fi within the home. The device can be programmed to complete a series of actions such as turning on connected lights, etc., by simply tapping a device. The device costs $99.99. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. So very similar to the Amazon, what did he call it? Not the Dot, the Dash. So you'll have basically a button that you put anywhere in your house, and very similar to the Dash, you actually can come in and program it to do certain things. So either a long press, a double press, a single short press, you can program it to do certain things. So in one case, a short press might turn on the light and a double tap might turn them off if that's the case. But at $99 per device, and the actual programming for it is pretty limited to a couple of connections. So if you've only got so many types of taps and squeezes and that you can do for the button itself, and you're going to put these all over your house so you can control your IoT. I mean, you can get an Amazon Echo for less than $200, and it'll do all that for you just from voice command. So I'm not excited about this. I'm sorry. I'm happy that Logitech's getting involved in it, but this seems like I don't know. This does not seem like a good use of their talents. I don't know. What do you think? Drop me a line. Let me know. So Citrix has an IoT platform. Gabe Newth reports that Citrix Octoblue, which is an IoT platform for virtualization. In an attempt to bring IoT to the business and enterprise, purely internal use for the enterprise, so this is hard to even fathom, and it took me 3 times reading the article to really kind of get a grasp on what they're trying to do. So everyone understands what Citrix is, right? And for those of you who don't, I'm just going to give a quick overview. Citrix is designed to do virtualization. So in the old days, you could actually log into someone else's server using Citrix or your own server and control it as if you were sitting at your desk. And then over the years, they became more and more advanced to the point where you have GoToMeeting, Log Me In, those sorts of things that are all kind of tied into basically controlling your assets virtually. And so the fact that Citrix is now involved in this, what does that mean? And so the examples that they actually gave in the article were along the lines of, say you've got a meeting room, and inside the meeting room, you've got a bunch of disconnected type devices that you want to now connect together. And so what they've proposed is an ability to, as you walked into the meeting room itself, the actual the sensor would detect that you'd walked into the room, and it would check to see whether the room was available in Outlook, and if it was available, it would automatically book it for you. And I guess through some identification or some method of, maybe determining who you were, maybe it would add you specifically to the actual meeting room. And it would do these things kind of real time. It would also maybe turn on all the lights. It would also turn on the projector and some other things. And they're talking about this in many other type senses, so that even if it's not a meeting room and you've got something else going on, that it has a way to tie all these systems together. I don't know. I mean, there seems like this one is could be the it could be the connector for everything in the enterprise, outside of what the enterprise might want to be doing for its own IoT initiatives, for what it's selling or what it's trying to manage and maintain. I don't know. This one almost seems like the back in the early days when I first started coding. I would tell my clients it can do anything, and therefore it meant it could do nothing, because you've got to kind of pick something and prove it out. If you tell somebody it can do everything, they can't really fathom how that works. And I kind of feel like this is where Citrix is now, is that they're telling the world, no, it can do everything. And I think, unfortunately, if they keep talking about an example such as a connected meeting room, that's probably what they're going to end up selling. But I don't know. Has anyone used this? Has anyone attempted to use this? Please let me know. I want to know a little bit more about this. And the article did not do it justice. All right, in our Kulu post of the day, Victor Thompson, an iTech Post, reports that Dual Skin now has tattoos that connect to IoT. Flash tattoos are temporary tattoos that apply to the skin, and typically the flash type tattoos that we're talking about have some form of conductivity. So from the standpoint of they're touch sensitive. And they can actually control devices such as smartphones or computers. In effect, the tattoos can simulate any 2D input device such as mouse, actions, keyboard. So imagine, if you will, that you've got a tattoo on your arm here, and maybe you can use it to swipe back and forth, or maybe there's blocks and you can use it as a keyboard, whatever the case may be. This is what they're talking about. Now, that in itself doesn't really seem that exciting, but just think about the applications here. Is that these are temporary tattoos that can be attached to a human body, and within short order have the ability to actually control electronic devices that are not on the body. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I think that those type of advances will actually lead to a true wearable society, outside of the fact of trying to bake it into glasses or trying to bake it into clothing or whatever else. That ultimately we're going to need some capability to control devices on us at all times, not necessarily what we're wearing. And this might be a good first step. Now, there's also the sci-fi world of where you say input stuff into your body and you become cyborgish. Who knows? This may be the first step to that, but I'm excited. I think it's a pretty cool idea. All right, guys, like I said, short day today, not a lot of news, which is odd because we had a ton of news over the weekend, but I guess it kind of slows down about midweek. As always, if you're digging what we're doing, you want to get involved and you want to maybe, come on to the show, maybe you want to have an article on the show, whatever, please send us whatever feedback that you may have. If you're enjoying what we're doing and you want us to do more, you want us to get more involved, please support us at patreon.com/tonamuck. I am happy to report that I do now have a sponsor, the local firm here in town called Band of Coders. Band of Coders is actually a software development shop. They do their tagline is "You know what to build, we know how to build it," and they're awesome. So feel free to go take a look at their site, bandofcoders.com. Otherwise, if you want to send me any sort of feedback, my email address is tonamuck@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter @tonamuck. And if you want to find out anything that I'm doing, otherwise, feel free to go to www.tonamuck.com and check out all of my projects. Till tomorrow, have a good day.